Hey everyone, and welcome back to the VSO Gun Channel. It's great to have you here as always. Thank you for tuning in. And today we're talking about the pistol brace ban. Now, it's been a minute since we talked about this one because the case has sort of been in limbo while we waited for some things to catch up. And I have a development for you here today. The Fifth Circuit Court of Appeals is scheduled to hear oral arguments in this case in August. Now, that sounds like something that we've kind of heard before, but what's special about this one is that they have combined 5 cases to hear them all at once. And I'll give you the information on that after we hear a word from our sponsor, but this is really important, and I'm going to share with you why, because not only are we one step closer to the Supreme Court, but if you've been following this closely, I think you know what I'm about to say. But real quick, capitalism, and I'll be right back. Today's video is brought to you by XS Sights. They are my preferred source for tritium night sights, as well as several other products that they make that are just fantastically executed. Highly, highly recommended. I've been using them for almost a decade now. They also now do fiber optic sights for those of you who want to enhance your target shooting. And of course, they do everything from shotgun beads to AK post sights, ensuring that regardless of the sighting solution, XS is the brightest sight in any light. The cases are Second Amendment Foundation versus ATF, the SAF's case, Firearms Policy Coalition's case, which is the Moch V Garland. We've covered both of those cases quite a bit up to this point. The Britto case, which is Britto versus ATF. NAGR's case, NAGR versus ATF, that's National Association for Gun Rights, and Gun Owners of America's case, which is GOA and Texas versus ATF. And these are scheduled for oral arguments on August 5th, or the week of August 5th, excuse me. So why is this important? Well, we've seen some really good stuff come out of the Fifth Circuit Court of Appeals, right? Up to this point. And before this gets sent to the Supreme Court, I really want the Fifth Circuit to take a crack at the following 2 pieces that I brought to you previously. The brief argues that nothing in the appellee's rehashed arguments alters the conclusion already reached in the motions panel. Appellants remain likely to win on the merits because a brace pistol is a constitutionally protected bearable arm, and the agencies have not met their burden of showing that the right to keep and bear arms historically allowed NFA-like regulations of brace pistols or SBRs, however defined. The right of the people to keep and bear arms protects an individual's right to possess, carry, and operate commonly used handguns in the home and in public for lawful purpose of imminent self-defense. As such, the Second Amendment presumptively guarantees plaintiffs to keep and bear braced and unbraced pistol arms at home and in public for general self-defense use. The Second Amendment also presumptively protects the FPC's members' proposed course of conduct insofar as it involves making common safety-improving modifications to otherwise lawfully bearable arms, for the purpose of ensuring the performance of self-defense. The conduct of acquiring, attaching, and maintaining rearward attachments such as a stabilizing brace serves to make the pistol stable and thus the user more accurate. The successful performance of armed self-defense entails not only deterring or neutralizing life-threatening perpetrators, but also preserving innocent life and preventing bodily injury to others as much as possible. Users directly advance these fundamental ends of self-defense when they modify lawfully bearable pistols with rearward attachments, whether as a brace or a stock. And then goes on to talk about how this was totally a thing in the American Revolution. So what we have here is a situation where the ATF keeps losing and they keep appealing it. And as they appeal it up, it's going to ultimately end up at the Supreme Court. And this language has been combined into the package that is going to be delivered to the Supreme Court after the Fifth Circuit has their way with it. So it either dies here at the Fifth Circuit Court of Appeals, as in the ATF loses because it's I'm pretty sure they're going to lose. The precedent up to this point has been that they're going to lose. And they just let it go and don't appeal it, in which case they lose. Or they take it to the Supreme Court, and the Supreme Court gets to decide on the language that you just heard. So the argument, not only the Administrative Procedures Act stuff that we've been hearing quite a bit about, but the argument that the concept that the National Firearms Act-like regulations could be conceptually constitutional will be presented to the Supreme Court. Oh, wouldn't that be fantastic if the fucking around that has been perpetrated by this current regime was found out by eliminating the National Firearms Act or ruling that the National Firearms Act or any regulations like those are unconstitutional. And that is what I find to be the big news here, is that all of these cases and all of the baggage that has been gathered over the course of the last year, as in all of the baggage from all 5 cases, is potentially what's going to be delivered to the Supreme Court. Now, I keep talking about the Supreme Court, but we're at the Fifth Circuit. Remember that the Fifth Circuit is the one that we've been focusing on quite a bit. It's the one that's gotten the farthest. And in my opinion, and I think that many of you will agree, they have been the most pro-Constitution of all of the... If there is a circuit court that I want my case to go to, I want it to go to the Fifth Circuit, because they have generated some of the chef's kiss moments. I believe that they generated both of the ones that you just heard me say. So that is, in my opinion, the big news, that all of this is going to be combined. And this could very rapidly turn from a, hey, this is an overreach of the government administrative procedures thing, to a, nah, you know what? This whole thing that you built this whole concept on is extra constitutional. You've been doing this wrong for 100 years. Let's just go ahead and set it all back. Wouldn't that be great? But anyway, that's the update that I have for you guys here today. I will obviously be bringing you the oral arguments. That is going to be a popcorn day, I think, when it gets there. The week of August 5th is, again, that date. And hopefully you guys have a great rest of the week. And hopefully we'll see you here again on the VSO Gun Channel.